Elizabeth's decline of Mr. Darcy's proposal has raised a lot of eyebrows in our last episode. In addition to that, Mr. Wickham is apparently a no-man candy considering how he treated some of our most beloved characters. We all know how awkward it will be for Elizabeth and Mr. Wickham since they kind of have a thing for each other. All that and other juicy gossip right here. I am Eunice Dimla and this is the Daily Report.
To start off the recap of chapters 15 to 19, I will be going over the involved characters. First off, Elizabeth tried to convince Mr. Bennet to not let Lydia go, but she failed to do so. He's the husband of Charlotte Lucas, or now also known as Mrs. Collins. She's naive, especially in distinguishing one's wickedness. She was very envious of Lydia when she got an invitation from the Forsters to go to Brighton. She's known for her flirty and absurd personality. He allowed Lydia to go to Brighton, convinced that her indifference would not seduce anyone. She is foolish and narrow, and like her daughter or daughters, she also desired to go to Brighton. He is shallow and selfish and the wife of the regiment's colonel, and it's much like Lydia. His love interest is Elizabeth, or maybe Elizabeth's love interest as well. Who knows? He was rejected by Elizabeth during their last encounter concerning his proposed feelings for her. Now to our main events. Our lovely main character, Elizabeth, or also known as Lizzie, has returned to Hertfordshire with her sister Jane.
Your aunt and uncle is so diverting.
I wonder what our dear Lizzie thinks with all the roller coaster of emotions she has gone through. Elizabeth revealed to Jane about Mr. Darcy's proposal and about Mr. Wickham. Uh-oh, looks like someone doesn't have a clean slate like he told so. Lydia received an invitation from Mrs. Forster to accompany her to Brighton. Elizabeth and Mr. Wickham's encountered on the last day of their regiment. Awkward. Mr. and Mrs. Bennet's background and their unsuitable marriage. Hashtag revealed. The gardeners and Elizabeth decided to pass by Mr. Darcy's house. Good luck, Elizabeth. Elizabeth and Maria left Rosings on Saturday morning. Lydia proposed to Mr. Bennet to allow them all to visit Brighton that summer since the officers will be staying there. Elizabeth told Jane about Mr. Darcy's proposal and Wickham's true character, and the sisters kept this matter quiet. Lydia was invited by Mrs. Forster to accompany her to Brighton. It was Lydia's indifference that convinced Mr. Bennet to let her go. The background of Mr. and Mrs. Bennet was narrated, and it was revealed that Mrs. Bennet's absurdity dissolved any of her husband's emotional affection for her. Mr. Bennet's source of enjoyment was solely from books and the country. Elizabeth's upcoming trip to the lakes with Mr. and Mrs. Gardiner was shortly interrupted as the party decided to pass by Mr. Darcy's house in Pemberley. Fortnight is a period of 2 weeks. It is used to indicate if something will take place 2 weeks after that date. Melancholy. A sad mood or feeling, a feeling or showing of sadness, or very unhappy. Propriety. A behavior that is accepted as socially or morally correct or proper. A state of being socially acceptable. And that's a wrap. See you at the studio!